Hey, what's up, guys? So when we have a team like Hallam that has no money and nothing going on, it can be a little bit difficult to find players to play for your side. And so as a result, what I did here, I just did this off camera, is I went over to the scouting budget and I cut it in half. I got rid of our scouting range, and that means that we have a little bit of transfer budget. We're going to work a little bit here on the wage budget, try to get this to look a little bit better, but it's not a huge thing for us to do at the moment. But there is a cheat you can use here in scouting, so you can technically, oh, like it's not going to let me go up to world. You can technically go up to, say, UK and Ireland here, which for our purposes is probably the same thing as the world. We can then look at players in range. Now, we're going to look only at players who are currently on expired contracts, or I guess who are also non-contract. We can look at, we're basically looking for guys who we can bring over in on loan. The reason why is because we have no scouting budget. Even if we had a little bit, it's not really worth it to go after these guys. And we have like no wage budget, and we have no transfer budget. We have this little bit of transfer budget. We're probably going to take all of that into the wage budget, right? For obvious reasons, because like the players who need transfer money are not going to come play for Hallam. We have no reputation. We are the least reputable team in the game right now. So we're not going to worry too much about, getting a huge transfer budget and going and sending the scouts out to look at guys. We don't care about this. We only care about these players who are on non-contract or who are on expired contracts or whatever, who we can swoop in and who we can get out. Now, we can't keep this for a long time. So what we need to do is we need to go over here to our short list, and we need to create a short list, not a new search. We need to create a new short list. We're going to call this trial list. There we go. And what we're going to do after that is we're going to go back to our players in range screen, and we're going to take a whole ton of these guys. I think we can take up to like 500 or something like that. Let's see if I can do this without clicking into something. We're going to take a whole bunch of them, and we're just going to stick them over onto the short list. Now, there are problems when you do this that you'll see in Football Manager, right? Add to short list, trial list indefinitely, right? There you go. Don't show this message. I don't really care. Whatever. And then we can go down and we can get a whole another big lump of players and stick them on the short list as well. What this allows you to do is it allows you to take advantage of the fact that you technically have a larger scouting range than you can afford. You can mark the players that are currently unavailable or currently available who you can go and sign. You can stick them over onto your short list, and then you can bring your scouting range back to where it should normally be, and you can go on your merry way. And it's almost like nothing ever happened, right? It does take a little bit of time to do this. Now, your next question is, why do we have a whole bunch of this blank space here? You see this? This is because Football Manager screws up. It doesn't like to show you like a bajillion players at once. It's just the way that it is. So we'll have to do, see, we're only looking for guys 15 to 19 because that's the way I roll, baby. So we're going to look first at goaltenders here. We're going to look at goalkeepers. We can go past all of these guys who are already on the short list. Yeah, we'll go out down to something like this. Look, there are a few players in view. There's 130, something like that. So we can just go down to the bottom, and we can have all of them go onto the short list, the trial list short list indefinitely. And there you go. And then we'll go up next. So what else do we have in this tactic? Oh, that's right. We have defenders, right? So we'll do the same thing. We can also do Control A. Maybe it'll work. It doesn't always work for me. We can just go from the top to the bottom, make sure we don't skip anybody. And we'll put them onto this short list as well. And there you have it. That short list will stay even if you don't have the scouting range. And so now you can see there's a whole bunch of players. We have 500 something on the short list. We can organize them by whatever we want. We can organize it by position. If there's a position we're looking at, we can organize it by their current team. We can organize it by their age. We can do basically whatever it is that we want, and just bring these guys over on trial. Now, not all of them will come on trial. You have a better chance of getting guys to come over on trial if they're not currently at a club. So like, I don't know, Welshpool, who are not actually in the game, right? This is over in Wales. Welshpool might say, you know what, we really want Harvey Bowen to stay on our team. We're not going to let him go for a trial over at the Hallam because, we don't like you guys or whatever. That's perfectly fine. It's within their rights to do that, right? So they can say, no, we're not going to put this guy over on loan for you. So that's a problem that you might run into, but it's okay if you have a whole bunch of these. This is why you want to get, about 30 players in on trial every time you go through this. right? The other thing you want to make sure you do when you set this up is you want to make sure that you have interested in transfer clicked here. This is especially important when you have a team like Hallam, because believe it or not, most players in this universe don't want to go play for a really bad team that nobody's ever heard of, that has no money and that has no supporters and has nothing, right? Most people would want to play for a team that is well established. And so because of this, you want to make sure you're only looking at guys who are interested in going to your team. Now, this interested in transfer thing here lies to you. It's not 100% correct, right? You have to keep that in mind. You will have teams in the future in which you don't want to click interested in transfer because the game will not show you certain players because it will think that they're not interested when they really are, right? But for our purposes here, to avoid wasting time, we're going to keep that interested in transfer thing checked. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go through all of this. We're going to get a bunch of young players on this team, and we're going to try to pull a team together out of nothing. I mean, as it stands right now, we have like nobody on the squad. This is 21 players here. The only other players that we have here on the under 19s, we have 16 there. So we have a total of 37 players overall. So we're going to pull over as many of these players as we can through scouting. We're going to pull them in and have trials and hope that some of the players show up to the trials, because with a team like ours, a lot of them won't. And then we're going to kind of hope that we can get these guys in on non-contract and see what we can do from there. So that's sort of what the plan is, and this is the way that you make it done. You need to make sure that you use your short list. The short list and then this little scouting range trick, that's the sort of stuff that will help you out. Sometimes you can actually trick it and have it let you do world. It's not letting me do that here for whatever reason. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to make that much of a difference. We probably could do this actually if we did something, if we put that money back in the transfer budget and put it back over, but whatever. I'm not going to worry about that too much. I mean, the quality of player you're going to be able to see, it's not that big of a difference. There are other ways you can find foreign players as well, right? You can go look, for example, at teams that you happen to know are amateur, or leagues you happen to know are amateur, and see if you can get some players from there to come over as well, right? And so there's a whole bunch of other tricks you can do here to create like an international team. But the thing to remember, most of all, is that you want to use your short list and you want to use whatever trick you can to get guys on it and then just bring them in as trialists one after the other. We'll leave it there. I'll talk with you tomorrow with more tips, tricks, and whatever else happens. See you then. Bye.